It's Friday the 6th of August and Sam and I are standing in the garden of Pilgrim Corner in Mizzle, Exmoor drizzly rain. Sam is up on a wall and he is balancing precariously, picking runner beans, which we planted in the spring to cover up a brand new trellis. You're about to get down, aren't you? Nice?
Yeah,
tasty? Good. Be careful. Wow, that was a big jump. Okay. And basically, Pilgrim Corner Garden is looking a bit like a jungle, but in a good way.
Yeah.
I mean, this geum, it's a sort of geum, it's about 2 metres tall. And the daisies are really tall. All I can hear is you eating runner beans. It's all looking lovely.
Yeah, so as the daisies are wilting, I'm removing them.
Yeah, you took a lot out of the sweet shop today, didn't you?
Not many. Most of the pilgrim ones are still blooming.
These are still going.
But the other two gardens are starting to die off.
This garden has more shade, doesn't it, than the sweet shop, which is basically full sun. The sauna, yeah. And the agapanthus that we planted in that very rainy storm in March, they look amazing.
Yeah.
They've done really well. And we're walking up round the back by the wall, which is Somerset stone wall, past all the lovely roses and the crocosmia. There's got bright orange shocks of crocosmia, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
We did talk about taking that out, but it just looks right here. It really does look amazing. And then we're standing now with a view of Exmoor, so we can look out over to the hills. You can probably hear seagulls. There are sheep up there, aren't there? It's hard for Sam to speak because his mouth is full of runner bean. You are funny. And then the main job, you have been doing a lot of deadheading of roses.
Yes, lots of weekly deadheading.
Yeah, I think we probably do about a whole builder's bag of rose heads every week. And then I come round at 5 to 4 and see a few that need to go. We're walking down to the pond where you've cut back the grass, thank goodness, because you couldn't see the pond. We've got lovely little lily leaves here, and there are a couple of frogs who live in this pond. Have you seen them today?
I've not seen any frogs.
No? Okay. Normally, I'm quite good at spotting a froggy. Yeah, they're not there today. It's the right kind of weather for frogs though, but it's nice, this pond, because it does have quite a lot of cover. You've got the marsh marigold growing over and these really pretty little daisies that Karen, our previous gardener, planted, which have gone everywhere, but in a very cottage garden-y way. And it's looking exactly how we wanted it to look in those really dismal January, February, March days when you first started working, and Sandy and I were here every day covered in mud in between hailstorms. And then there's a lovely little pathway back to the house, isn't there, which is covered. You've got this very pretty purple clematis, which is a tiny one that comes over from the sweet shop, scrambles over from the sweet shop. And the rose arch, which is old but lovely. You can hear Steve, what is he doing next door? Vacuuming the all the leaves that have come in the winds.
The moss off the thatched roof.
Oh yeah, we do get the moss as well. And our bottle brush tree, which was on Instagram recently, which is an absolutely beautiful specimen, and it's got lovely little drops of water on it. Looks stunning, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a quick bloom.
It didn't last long. But we only see it every Friday, don't we? And not for long, so that's perhaps the shame. And then we've got these lovely pink anemones, which are as tall as me, but not as tall as Sam, who is very tall. How tall are you, Sam?
Over 6'4".
Over 6'4", and I'm 5'2", so they're in between us. I would say they're about 6 foot. And they look like their petals are opening up to talk to us, don't they? They look like little pink microphones.
Yeah.
I think they do. And we're being dive bombed by naughty seagulls. Look at that one up there. They're enormous, those birds. He's up on the neighbour's chimney pot. I think he's ordering his tea. And we're coming down the gravel path onto the lower terrace at Pilgrim Corner. We've got a lovely agapanthus here, haven't we? Bowing its head in towards the garden room on our little cherub who's playing the guitar.
It's a lute.
Is it a lute? Get you. I think you're right, it is a lute, probably. And I can see the girls working hard inside the cottage, bleaching away. And this thatch on Pilgrim Corner is netted, because it was done a long time ago. And the thatch at the sweet shop, which is newer, is not netted, only on the ridge. And that is to do with the way the fire brigade break fires. Did you know that? They don't like the netted thatch because they have to come up, if there is a fire, they have to cut the wire to create a barrier, because what they do is they cut a piece of the thatch out to stop the fire moving across, and that slows them down. So when I had that done, which was long after the Pilgrim one was done, I didn't have it netted apart from the ridge, which often gets attacked by magpies and seagulls. So what are you doing next? We're sort of sweeping up mode now, aren't we? And cleaning the garden furniture, sorting out the gutters, which we do every week. We don't need to water today because
water's the pots.
We've had a bit of rain.
Put some feed out.
We've got a lot of canners in these gardens, and the canners just came from Tesco's a few years ago, and they look absolutely lovely, don't they?
They're in the greenhouse for several months.
That's right. They overwinter in there.
Got them out and just shot
Do you think you could cut this lovely bramble? If you get a moment, please. I don't like the idea of someone scratching themselves. That's quite a big thing. And now we're walking back up the path, and we're getting closer to Steve, who's going a bit mad with that vacuum. He found it in the barn last week, and he's very excited because it blows and sucks. And he'd been told it didn't work, but he made it work. So it's his new toy, and he's been using it basically all day, and it's driving us all mad. And we've got lots of wildlife features in Pilgrim Corner. We've got a high-rise trunk, which is dead trunk, which is full of insects, and we've got a wildlife trunk, which has birds nesting in it, doesn't it? Yeah. And then we have this tree here, which we don't cut anymore because it's home to a couple of pairs of blackbirds. We see them in the spring. We found 2 dead baby blackbirds, do you remember? Yeah. And we buried them. We had a little ceremony because we were very sad about that, because we've been looking after them all spring. And now we're back at the back of Stone Barn with our lovely olive trees in the Mediterranean bit, and white anemones, and we're just going to go and have a quick look in the barn garden. We won't go to the sweet shop because we're too close to that vacuum. And this garden's looking lovely in pink, and it's got a very pretty sweet pea, hasn't it? And if we had smelly vision, we would tell you that it smells exactly like sweet peas smell. You're going to give it a sniff? There's a tall one up there and a small one down here. Oh yes, that's lovely. You like that?
It's lovely.
And we've got a salvia. Do you know what this one's called?
Hot lips.
Hot lips.
Yeah.
Makes me think of that Muppet with the lips.
Oh yeah.
You know the one I mean, who's in the band with Animal. Yeah, these are my cultural references. Yours is to know the difference between a guitar and a lute. Yeah. Mine is I know the Muppets. Yeah, but I won a hamper once because I was able to identify a film that no one else could identify. It was a Christmas movie, and everyone had got all the others, and there was this one left. And you know what it was?
Christmas Carol.
The Muppet Christmas Carol, and I won the hamper. So there you go. And the one last thing I wanted to talk about, in Stone Barn Garden, we've got a smoke bush, we've got a lime green one, there he goes again, we've got a red one next door, and we've got the acanthus, which I brought down with me from South London, which grow really well in where I used to live. And I love these, but they are spiky. You're not a big fan, are you?
No.
What's your favourite thing in this garden, Sam? Apart from me, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, for the avoidance of doubt, Sam and I would like it to be known that we are not going out with each other. I don't know where this started, but it's not true. I can go out with him. He's about 2 foot taller than I am. I think that...
I can reach things on the top shelf.
That's true, you can. I think that hollyhock is my favourite. I love that. You love the fig.
Tree.
You did a lot of work to this fig tree.
Yeah, so just taking off all the dead stuff, and as soon as I did that, it's just started
It
actually
looks
producing
beautiful.
decent fruit instead of these grape-sized figs, which are just no good.
No, it's a biblical plant, the fig. It features heavily in the Old Testament, and they are absolutely delicious. I did study religion for a long time. They're absolutely delicious when they're ready. And I'd never had an actual fig before I got one off this tree. I had no idea what all the fuss was about. What I'd had was fig rolls. You probably don't know what they are.
Fig rolls?
Ugh. Yeah, well, this is in another league. Anyway, it's about to rain again, and I'm going to go and strangle Steve with that. Thank you. Can you hear me? No, he can't, bless him. He's got Max helping him today, who's 9, and we can hear him telling Max how to use the vacuum. And I can see a few things that need doing in here, but aside from that, it's looking marvellous. Well done. Good job. It's been a busy Friday today, hasn't it? All over the place. I know. Thank you. Especially as you had a late night last night because you had to help out in a pub that didn't have enough staff, didn't you?
Yes.
This is what happens in hospitality at the moment. Everyone's short-staffed. Actually, we're not. We've got the full complement. There's 12 of us today. I still think we're in a rush, though. Right, thank you, Sam.
All right.
Back to the grindstone in the sweet shop on the washing, and it looks beautiful. You've done a smashing job.
Steve with his vacuum.
Yeah, could you go and supervise? I think next time, note to self, silent vacuum, silent garden vac. That's the way to go. Righty ho. I will speak to you later.
Bye.
Bye.